Please subscribe my channel. It was casual and almost warm. I'm seeing an old family friend. I'll be home tomorrow. There was no reason to question it. At least that's what Sarah thought. Family friend. Those words once meant trust, safety, and closeness. I texted back a quick, "Okay, drive carefully." No extra questions, no doubts. On the outside, I seemed fine, but the way it was worded felt practiced, too perfect. In the last few months, I had started paying attention not only to what was said, but to habits. She packed a small bag, gave me a quick kiss goodbye, and left without any delay. The door shut gently behind her, and the house became still. That stillness wasn't empty. It told me things. I didn't get upset. I didn't hurry. I sat down and thought about everything I already knew, everything I had noticed, and everything I had gotten ready for. This wasn't the first time family friend came up in our talks. It was just the first time she thought I still didn't know about it. That was her error. The fact is, I had suspected for weeks. Not all the details, but enough. Texts late at night that were hidden fast. Phone calls in another room. The same name coming up too much, always with comforting words afterward. I didn't ask her directly because asking gives people a chance to prepare. I picked a different way. Proof. Quietly and with patience, I collected evidence instead of blame. I talked to an attorney not to start anything right away, but to learn my choices. I kept records of dates, money matters, and things we owned together. I found out what was important in the eyes of the law, not just feelings. And most of all, I contacted one surprising person, his wife, Emily. I didn't blame her. I just asked some questions. She already had her own doubts. When our information came together, everything became very clear. Two families were being tricked at the same time. We didn't get angry. We worked together. That's the key difference between mess and results. By the time Sarah was on her overnight trip, the plans were already in place. All that was left was the right moment. That evening, Emily came over. Not in secret, but on purpose. We sat at the kitchen table where Sarah and I had eaten so many meals, shared laughs, and made future plans. Now, it had papers, files, and calm determination on it. The attorneys came one after another, steady, expert, and not shocked. To them, this wasn't high drama. It was standard steps. We looked over proof, statements, dates. No yelling, no crying, just clear facts. Emily stayed calm in the way only someone who has already cried alone can. We weren't trying to ruin lives. We were trying to end the lies. By midnight, the outlines of 2 legal cases were ready. Money wrongdoing, cheating, emotional harm, childcare issues. The law doesn't listen to reasons. It looks at evidence. And there was plenty of evidence. I glanced around the kitchen and felt something surprising. Calm. Not happiness. Calm. Because no matter what came next, I wasn't wondering anymore. I wasn't just responding. I was prepared. The next afternoon, I heard her car pull into the driveway sooner than planned. I stayed still. I didn't tell anyone. The front door opened and Sarah walked in, smiling wearily, already thinking of what to say. That smile disappeared as soon as she saw who was at the kitchen table. Emily, the attorneys, documents laid out neatly. The breath went out of her right away. She stopped, eyes moving from one person to another, her mind trying to figure out how everything had changed so fast overnight. I leaned back a little and smiled. Not mean, but aware. "You're home early," I said quietly. "We aren't done preparing the lawsuit yet." The room became totally quiet. No yelling, no blame, just surprise so strong it felt real and heavy. She tried to talk, but no words came. For the first time, she wasn't controlling the story. She wasn't picking the moment or the words. The truth had gotten there before her excuse could. She finally sat down, hands trembling, asking what was going on, saying it wasn't what it seemed. One attorney pushed a folder to her without speaking. Inside were texts, dates, hotel bills, money moves. The proof didn't debate. It just was there. Emily spoke steadily, asking questions Sarah couldn't answer without more lies. Every try at an explanation fell apart against the records. Seeing that wasn't enjoyable. It was serious. Lies seem strong until truth surrounds them. She looked at me with tears, pleading for me to say why I did this without talking to her first. I answered softly, talking needs truth from both people. That stopped the talk she wanted. She saw too late that my quiet hadn't been not knowing. It had been getting ready. The attorneys described the next parts in even voices. Separation papers, stopping access to money, filing in court. No warnings, just steps. Sarah's sureness broke down fully. She had thought there would be pardon, uncertainty, perhaps anger. She didn't expect planning. She didn't expect the two people she was fooling to team up. That hit her harder than any direct blame. She asked if there was still a chance to make it right. One attorney replied before I could. That's not a law question anymore. And it was correct. Sorry feelings don't undo legal steps. She at last realized that her family friend had taken more from her than hiding could save. After everyone went, the house felt changed, easier to breathe, but more silent. Emily and I shared a short glance of shared respect. Two people unknown to each other before, linked by the same hurt, picking respect over disorder. She thanked me for contacting her instead of keeping quiet. I thanked her for trusting proof over worry. Sarah sat by herself at the table, looking at a life that had fallen apart in one afternoon. Not from payback, but from truth coming at the planned time. I didn't brag. I didn't teach a lesson. I just got up and left the room. Sometimes leaving calmly says the most. When Sarah texted, I'm meeting a family friend. I'll be back tomorrow. She thought the lie would go unseen. What she didn't realize was that planning had taken the place of trust. When she came into our kitchen and found Emily and several attorneys there, the story stopped right away. My small smile wasn't harsh. It was the end of it. Because once truth is recorded, lies have no strength left. That day showed me this. Arguing leads to fights. Planning leads to finishes.